let's start off with Amrabat. I know that's somebody that a lot of people in the chat were really, really excited about. Now, we had a story coming out, I think it was yesterday, saying that Manchester United had agreed personal terms with Amrabat. That has been disregarded by Fabrizio Romano. Manchester United have not agreed personal terms with Amrabat. However, we have had another story come out today in the UK saying that Manchester United are interested for Amrabat and they do want to sign him, okay? But with Amrabat, we will need to sell players in order to bring him in. We will need to sell Fred. We probably will need to sell Donny van de Beek before we can bring in Amrabat. But as far as we're concerned, guys, he is the number one midfield target. He is, after obviously Mason Mount, who will be announced in the next coming days. There was other stories coming out this afternoon as well that Manchester United will sign 2 midfielders this summer. Obviously Mason Mount being one of them, and the second we believe to be Amrabat. So that's one to keep an eye on. I do think that we will get that deal through the door. Probably not immediately. It might take a couple of weeks, but I do think Amrabat will join. Welcome to everybody who's new in the chat, by the way, today. Lots of new people. I know, obviously, everyone is very, very excited about the Manchester United takeover, which we will, of course, talk about in a little bit. But I did want to run through some more topical news before we jump into the takeover, because ultimately, most of the time, we're talking about the takeover. And there is other stuff going on at the club. So the story came up from the Manchester Evening News saying that Manchester United are now considering making a second midfield signing after signing Mason Mount. It is believed that Manchester United want to sell Fred and Donny van de Beek this summer, and they will then bring in a second midfielder. So that's one to keep an eye on. I do think we will get probably Amrabat. I think that would be a really good signing. We've also been linked to Lavia from Southampton, who again, I think would be a really, really solid signing. But as it stands, there isn't any discussions between Manchester United and Amrabat, and we haven't agreed personal terms. Those were just all rumours as it stands. We got another few other bits of news that we wanted to discuss with you before we talk about the takeover, which I know everybody is desperate to talk about. So, Roma and Brighton are both interested in Scott McTominay. Obviously, Caicedo's looking like he's going to leave Brighton, so they will need a replacement. I do think someone like McTominay going to a club like Brighton would be a really, really good move for him. That's one to keep an eye on, guys. I do think McTominay should leave the club this summer. Whether he will or not is yet to be seen. Ultimately, he's not going to get game time for Manchester United next season. He's not. He's going to be a bench warmer. I don't think Ten Hag really fancies him. I think at the end of the day, with players like McTominay, they're bench warmers. They are, guys. They're not going to be first-time players. They never will be. Their best position, yeah, CK's in the chat, so that's CK there. Again, CK will definitely sort something out. I'm not sure what happened there. That's CK who just did the sad face in the chat. Anybody who is interested in CK Watt I've put his Twitter in the description. Go and check him out, and we will get him on the show in the next kind of few days. So, yes, again, sorry about the technical difficulties at the beginning, but we've got to still carry on with the show and crack on with things. So, yeah, we will get CK in later on in the week. So do subscribe if you haven't already. Does some really interesting tactical analysis. So that will definitely be one to check out. Back on the Amrabat situation, I really, really do hope that we get Amrabat over the line, guys. I really do. I think he's a really solid player. I think he's got the aggression that we need. I think him and Casemiro in midfield would be absolutely incredible. They'd completely dominate our midfield. You can imagine them going away to those tricky stadiums and holding their nerve. You could see them away at the Etihad holding their nerve. That's what we need in our spine of our team, guys. We need 2 players who are absolute monsters. And if we can get Amrabat, and if we can get him and Casemiro playing together, I think we've got an amazing midfield there, guys. I really, really do. So yeah, do get your live chats in, guys. I will read out some comments in the next few minutes. I'm just going to run through a few news stories first. So with Amrabat, I know quite a few places were saying we've agreed terms, but that has been disregarded, guys. Manchester United have not agreed terms with Amrabat, unfortunately. We got to keep an eye on this Scott McTominay one. It is moving fast. I do think that clubs are going to come in for him. West Ham definitely want him. Roma are supposedly interested in him. I'm not sure if Roma could afford him, though, to be completely honest with you guys. So I think that one is maybe not going to happen. But I think Brighton being linked to him, I think that's a really good move for Scott. And I think also West Ham is a really good move for him. So let's hope that he gets his move. Let's hope he goes and gets first team football, because I do think there is a good player there in Scott McTominay. I just don't think he needs to be at Manchester United. I think we are above. I mean, I don't want to sound big-headed, but I do think we're above. Is Billy Marsh? Is that the Liverpool fan? Sorry, guys, I've got distracted now. Was Billy Marsh the Liverpool fan? That is him, isn't it? Is it Billy Marsh, or is that another Billy? Honestly, guys, I can't remember. I mean, Billy Marsh, are you the Liverpool fan from earlier? I think the chat's been infiltrated, guys. I do. I honestly can't remember what your second name was, mate. I really apologise. I think it is him, though. I mean, Billy, you literally are obsessed. You know, you were literally watching the show like half an hour ago, and you're back. Sorry, guys. I'll try and ignore Billy now, all right? Billy, welcome to the chat. Billy Marsh, everyone give Billy Marsh a warm welcome. We'll try and not have another dispute again, because I know it was entertaining, but people here actually do want to talk about Manchester United, opposed to just writing 7-0, ha, 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 which is, I mean, it's a bit of a basic answer, really, isn't it? Unfortunately, Billy, it's a bit basic, like, but fair play to you. Anyway, so let's move on with the show. Billy, you can just carry on watching. You're more than welcome. Right, we had another story as well come out earlier on today, a few hours ago, from Chris Wheeler, saying that Manchester United are currently in talks with Kolo Muani and Rasmus Hojlund. So as it stands, guys, we're not just talking to Rasmus, we're also talking to Kolo Muani. I'm going to get a poll going here, because I do think that this is a good one to discuss. Who would you prefer as striker? So, right, guys, the question for today's stream is, who would you prefer as the striker? So we've got Kolo Muani, and we have got... do smash a like on the video, guys. It doesn't cost any money, and it really helps the channel, so please do that whilst I'm doing the poll. Kolo Muani or Rasmus Hojlund? As I said, guys, Chris Wheeler has reported earlier on today that apparently Manchester United are currently in talks with both Kolo Muani and Rasmus Hojlund. Anybody asking about the guest? He was here, he was in, but for some reason the microphone wasn't working, so I do apologise for anybody who was coming for the fan forum. We will be doing that later on in the week. Again, I do apologise for that. You know what it's like with technology, guys. You can never trust technology. He was here, he was on time, he was really up for it. He's a really, really great guest, and yeah. Billy's still in the chat, guys. Oh, God. Honestly, Billy, I actually appreciate you being here, because you just make the show funny. Like, it does just make it funny. So I do appreciate you, Billy. You're welcome back whenever you want, mate. Billy Marsh, everyone, give Billy Marsh a round of applause. I hope you're doing well, Billy, mate. I really, really do. But yeah, so do get involved in the poll. Who would you prefer at the club? Would you prefer Rasmus Hojlund or Kolo Muani? Both players have been linked to us earlier today via Chris Wheeler. We will talk about the takeover a little bit later on, guys. We were live for about an hour earlier talking about the takeover, so I don't want to bore you all with takeover stuff. I do want to talk about some other topics. So let's talk about some outgoings, because I know people are very excited about who we're going to get rid of out of Manchester United. So we had a story come in earlier on today saying that Galatasaray are preparing to make an official contact for both Anthony Elanga and Alex Telles. I mean, they aren't a club that I thought that would go for those players, but I mean, I'd happily take, you know, selling both of those clubs. I really, really do. Is this actually the Billy? I don't think it is. But yeah, so guys, it looks like Galatasaray are going to come in for both Alex Telles and Elanga. To be honest, I think Alex Telles 100% needs to go, but maybe we should loan out Elanga for one season. I don't think it's essential that we let him go. I don't. I think Elanga, there is a player there. I don't think he's good enough to start for Manchester United every single game, put it that way. But I do think there is a player there. I do. And I would maybe be a bit sad if Elanga went, because you know that it's going to be like a really, really small amount of money if Elanga gets sold. It'll probably be £10 million. Alex Telles, he can go. He's definitely done. Like, we do not need Alex Telles at the club anymore. We don't need Brandon Williams. Yeah, both of those players can leave the club 100%. But Alex Telles definitely can leave. Anthony Elanga, potentially I would keep him. Yeah, what's everyone thinking about Mason Mount as well? I'm surprised that they didn't announce the Mason Mount deal today, guys. I really am. Obviously, he's passed his medical. That's been confirmed by Fabrizio Romano. Mason Mount has passed his medical. We are expecting the announcement anytime now. It might be later on this evening. Let's have a look. What's Billy saying now, guys? What is Billy saying? Billy is back. Yeah, I mean, Billy, you're literally becoming a legend of the channel. Like, bye, guys. See you tomorrow. Oh, Billy, mate. Oh my god. I'm not banning Billy. As I said, guys, everyone is welcome in the chat. Unless you start being abusive, any like racial, homophobic abuse, that will not be accepted. But if Billy, the Liverpool fan, wants to come and join the chat every single day, then he is more than welcome. He is. I don't know why he would, because he's just getting bantered by everybody. But yeah, so anyway, let's get back to the news. Galatasaray are supposedly interested in Anthony Elanga and Alex Telles. 100% let Alex Telles go. I mean, if we get a good bid for Elanga, then maybe we would sell him, but I'm not sure, to be completely honest with you. Yeah, to be honest, Billy, would you like to get a free membership? Is that why you're upset? Should we all gift Billy Marsh a membership? I think we should. I think we should, guys. Billy, if you're here on the next stream, if I can, I don't know how to gift you a membership, but I'll try and work it out. And we'll give Billy a membership, so we'll get the badge next to his name. He can go and tell all his friends that he's a member of the channel. I mean, I still can't get over why a Liverpool fan is in a channel for a Manchester United YouTube channel. Like, why is he in the chat? Like, I don't get it. Yeah, so anyway, back to the news, guys. Sky Sports News are now also reporting, this has come out in the last hour, that Manchester United are looking at bringing in Fiorentina midfielder Amrabat. So that's being reported by Sky Sports as well, guys. Literally within the last hour, that Manchester United are targeting Amrabat. I definitely would like to see Amrabat, guys. I know we've already discussed this, but yeah, it is really, really good that Sky Sports, people like that, are reporting this news. I do think as soon as Fred goes, as soon as Donny van de Beek goes, I do think that Amrabat will be our primary target in midfield. I think he'd be an absolute beast. Sky Sports do go on to say, though, guys, that any more midfield signings would be dependent on sales. So we will not be bringing in Alex Telles. We will not be bringing in Amrabat until Donny van de Beek and Fred go. Yeah, honestly, guys, I don't know why Liverpool fans watch Manchester United channels. I don't. Like, I mean, I take it as a compliment, you know? They obviously think that our community is good and they want to be here I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, to be honest with you, I don't think I've ever seen a Liverpool channel. I don't know any Liverpool channels. I really don't. But yeah, so hats off to Billy, guys. I think everyone should treat Billy. Billy is a part of this community, guys. He's been in 2 chats today. He clearly loves what he clearly really likes this community, guys. He clearly, feels like he has a connection to you. So I think we should welcome Billy with open arms, bring him into the community, put your arm around him. He's going to be in the Europa League next season. He's going to be playing against teams you've never heard of at 5 p.m. on a Thursday night. So let's welcome Billy in, put your arm around him, treat him like he's one of our own. At the end of the day, he wanted to be here, so hats off to him. Anyway, let's move on from Billy. Billy's gone, guys. Billy has left. I might even do a t-shirt like I love Billy Marsh. Maybe we'll do that. Smash a like on the video if you want us to do an I love Billy Marsh t-shirt. Maybe we'll do that later on down the line. Right, let's read out a few chats quickly. All right, Billy Marsh is still here, guys. Billy Marsh says United Stand is better than this crap channel. I mean, to be honest with you, Billy Marsh, United Stand probably is better than this channel. They've been doing it for 8 years. We've been doing this for a month. So to be honest, I'm actually take it as a compliment that after a month of doing this channel, we've got Liverpool fans in here trying to banter us. And as you said, Billy Marsh, United Stand is better. Yeah, it is. They've been doing it for 8 years. I've been doing this for 4 weeks. So, Billy, mate, pipe down. Pipe down. We've had enough of you. You got put in your place earlier. Don't make me put you in your place again. Look, Billy, what I'd suggest you go and do, right? Go through your calendar, right? And block off. Tell the missus that 5 p.m. every Thursday until the beginning of, until June, that you need your dinner early, okay? You need your dinner before 5 o'clock, because at 5 o'clock, you're going to be watching Liverpool play some team that you've never heard of away from home on a Thursday night. Tell her that you want your dinner made early, all right? Go and tell her that now. Set your alarm, 4:45 on a Thursday. You need to finish up your work, and you need to get in front of your TV and go and watch your mighty Liverpool go and play some team we've never heard of in the Europa League. Oh god. Yeah, no, it is funny though. It really, really is funny. It is. I mean, he hasn't got anything to say, has he? But let's move on with the show, guys. Anyway, enough of Billy Marsh. It is entertaining though. I do really enjoy it. Right, we've got a story coming in about Fred. Let's see what everybody thinks about Fred. Yeah, drop a like for the lad. Come on, guys, drop a like for Billy Marsh. Drop a like for Billy Marsh, guys. So we had a story coming in earlier on today. Right, you're gonna like this one, guys. You're really gonna like this one. Okay. Saudi Arabia apparently are interested in Fred. A club in Saudi Arabia are going to come in for Fred. I mean, what more could you want to hear on this Tuesday night? Fulham supposedly didn't want to pay £15 million for Fred. Imagine how much the Saudi Arabia team's going to play. I mean, they'll probably pay 40, 50 million pounds, won't they, for Fred? So yeah, we had a report coming out earlier today saying Fred has an offer from Saudi Arabia. I mean, if we can sell Fred to Saudi Arabia, we'll be absolutely milking it, won't we? So yeah, that's another one. That's a potential outgoing. Honestly, guys, I'm actually grateful that this Billy guy is in there. Exactly. Drop a like for Billy Marsh, guys. You're a legend of the chat. You really are. Billy Marsh is a legend. I love you, Billy. All right. I hope we can be friends one day. I hope we can put our differences aside. I hope we can see eye to eye and we can be friends. You know, I really do love you, Billy. All right. Anyway, let's move on with the show. It's all about peace and love here, guys. We're not condoning any violence or any any bullying or any of the rest of it. So it's all just a bit of a joke, isn't it? Right. Anyway, let's move on to some more stories. It's still gone very quiet around the Onana situation. Obviously, we did speak earlier about how a bid had gone in for 40 million euros for Onana via Di Marzio. We're still waiting to find out what's going on with that. I don't think that 40 million euros will be enough to get Onana. I think we will need to pay at least 50. And if we can get him for 50, guys, we should 100% go and do that deal. 100% sure. He's definitely what we need in that team. I really, really hope that he is our next signing. But it's one that's not really had any more news about in the last since we spoke this morning. It's gone very quiet. I do maybe think that this Di Marzio story that came out last night was maybe leaked from Inter. It does make me wonder whether, Inter Milan want to sell this player quickly because they need money. So maybe they leaked this story to Di Marzio, saying, can you put out this story? Because at the end of the day, guys, we haven't seen anything from Fabrizio, nothing from David Ornstein. Nobody else has reported this bid, only Di Marzio. I mean, that is a bit weird, isn't it? Let's have a look. I mean, at the end of the day, guys, Billy has just said he loves me. So, it's all friendly here. I love you too, Billy. Honestly, Billy, I wish you all the best in the Europa League. I really, really do, mate. I hope you have some amazing away days in, the depths of Czechoslovakia and Norway or wherever it is you'll be playing. I do hope that you enjoy it, mate. I really, really do. You better get booking your flights early. I've heard, actually, Billy, apparently Ryanair have got a sale on at the moment. So if you do need to book a flight to some, town in Sweden that you've never heard of, I'd head over to the EasyJet or the Ryanair website because I do believe they have a sale on at the moment. So just a little, this isn't promoted at all, Billy, but they do have a sale on at the moment, Ryanair. So if you get in early, you'll probably be able to maybe get a bit of extra leg room or something. So head over to Ryanair, mate. They'll have plenty of flights for you to those places in Sweden that we've never heard of. All right. Let's have a look. Yeah, at the end of the day, guys, back to the Multi Clapton says, sorry I was rude to you yesterday about reading comments out. I was out of order. To be honest, Multi Clapton, I don't remember you. I don't remember any comments from you, so no problem. Obviously, I appreciate the apology, but again, guys, I take everything with a pinch of salt. So unless you're, as I said, unless you're, racist or homophobic, then you guys can say whatever you want. That's the beauty of football, guys. It's all about banter, isn't it? It's about having a good time. Let's not be too serious. Like at the end of the day. Anyway, let's move on to some more news. So yeah, we had a story 3 hours ago that Mason Mount has officially signed his Manchester United contract. And he has already been at Carrington today getting to know some of his teammates. So I do expect we'll get the Mason Mount announcement at any point now, probably in the next few hours. It might even be whilst we're live. how's everyone feeling about Mason Mount? Now that the dust has settled a bit, now that we know that he's going to become a Manchester United player, how are you feeling about it? There was an interesting story that came out earlier on that I actually wanted to speak to you about Mason Mount. Fabrizio Romano reported earlier on today that, let me just get the exact quote up so you don't think I'm just waffling. Fabrizio Romano reported that apparently Pochettino actually wanted to keep Mason Mount at the club and was trying to convince him to stay. But I think the issue with Mason Mount was actually to do with the wages he was being offered, guys. I know we hate the fact that, you know, we're seen as a club that people come to for money. But at the end of the day, guys, we've tripled Mason Mount's money. We have. He was on £80,000 a week. He's now on 250. So it's a good signing, but yeah, I don't think we're going to get Mason Mount kissing the badge, to be completely honest with you. I don't think we'll get that. I think he has maybe come for the money, potentially, but what do you expect? We've offered to pay him 250 grand a week. Everyone, please do smash a like on the video. Yeah, let's try and get to 100. We've got like 300 people watching, so if everybody smashes a like, it will obviously, yeah, it will do good. Billy, we're going to stop talking about Billy now, guys, because it is getting a bit boring. Obviously, Billy, you're welcome to stay in the chat for as long as you want, but we're not gonna read out any of more of your comments, unfortunately, because there's plenty more people in the chat saying much more interesting things than you. Right, someone says Mason Mount is a good addition to the team. Step up on Fred and Scott. Yeah, 100%. So I do think that Mason Mount will come in and he will just take Christian Eriksen's place. That's a fact. Mason Mount will take Christian Eriksen's place. And to be honest with you guys, when you think last season, when you looked at our bench at how poor it was, it is a positive that when we'll have someone like Christian Eriksen on our bench now, because before we had Christian Eriksen starting every single game, and who did you have to bring on? Fred, McTominay. Both of them are rubbish, let's be honest. So now that we've got someone like Mason Mount who can play every single game, he has the legs to do it. And then you've got Eriksen on the bench. I mean, that is a massive improvement, guys. So that is a positive. And if we get Fred out of the door, if we get McTominay out of the door, then it does look like we will bring in Amrabat from Fiorentina, which is really exciting. We will talk about the takeover in a bit, guys, so please hold on. I want to go through some of the news first, just because we did speak about the takeover for about an hour earlier. And yeah, the second half of the show will be more focused around the takeover, and I'll get you guys' opinions and all the rest of it. Let's have a quick look at the poll, see how we're getting on. So, as it stands, guys, 69% of you, 69% want Rasmus Hojlund at the club. The other 31% want Kolo Muani. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people in the chat really do want Rasmus Hojlund. I am excited about Rasmus. I really am, guys. I think he'll be a quality player, but I just do worry about how long it would take him to, to hit the ground running. I do worry about that. Will we get 20 goals from him in the first season? I mean, you never know. It's a flip of the coin. Rasmus Hojlund could come in and he could absolutely tear up the Premier League. He might get 30 goals next season, or he might get 10. That's a good question, actually. I'm going to end the poll and start a new one. So let's start a new poll. How many goals will Rasmus Hojlund get? Welcome everybody who's just joining in the last few minutes, guys. Hope everyone is doing well. Get in the Premier League. 10, 20. All right. Get involved in the poll, guys. The question for this part of the show is, how many goals will Rasmus Hojlund get in the Premier League? Obviously, that's if he signs, but how many goals are you expecting, you know? How many goals do you think would justify us getting Rasmus Hojlund, you know? I'm personally going to say, I think he'll probably get like 10 goals, I think, in the Premier League. I think he'll get goals in other competitions as well, but he did only get 9 goals last season, guys, in the Serie A. And I do think it will take him time to I do think it will take him time to settle down, I really do. And that's what concerns me about Rasmus Hojlund. I honestly think he could go on to be a world-class player. I genuinely believe that. He's got all of the attributes to go on and absolutely tear up football. He has the attributes to become an absolute beast. But the problem where we are now, guys, we're not like Manchester City, where they have Julian Alvarez sat on the bench. Okay, Julian, however you pronounce it, would get in Arsenal's team, he'd get in Manchester City's team, he'd get in Chelsea's team. They've got a potentially world-class young player sat on the bench. We need to have like a Hojlund as our main striker. So whether that's a Harry Kane and Osimhen, we need that. And then we need to bring in Rasmus Hojlund, who, you know, plays the last 20, 30 minutes of games, plays all the cup games. That's what we need, you know. Welcome, Sean, who's new today. Welcome to all the new people. Lovely to see lots more new people in the chat today. And welcome, obviously, to all the regulars. Lots of love to all of the usuals. Please do subscribe, guys, if you haven't already. Yeah. Let's have a look at what other bits we have to talk about. Please do get involved in the poll as well. We will do a recap on the poll later on in the show, and we will talk about the takeover. Because I know a lot of people are excited about that. We did do like an hour-long video about it earlier when some breaking news came out. So I do want to talk about some other stuff just to begin with. Right, let's have a quick look at what else we've got on the agenda today, guys. Let's have a look. There was people saying on Twitter that apparently Mason Greenwood's going to do an interview like before the season starts, but I don't believe that, to be honest with you. I think Mason Greenwood's just going to go out on loan. I really, really do. I think that's the best for him. I do, guys. What else did we have on the agenda today, guys? Right. We've got some breaking news literally coming in the last 28 seconds. Okay. Unfortunately, it's not about the takeover, so take a deep breath. It's coming in from sources in Turkey saying that Fenerbahce are set to have a meeting with David De Gea's agent this week and will make him an offer. So we can say for sure that clubs will start coming in for David De Gea, right? We've already had people offering from Saudi Arabia. We've now got Fenerbahce. Manchester United are believed to be holding talks with David De Gea this Thursday when he comes back from his pre-season. Ultimately, guys, we need to get Onana in before David De Gea comes back, because what I want you guys all to remember, the pre-season tour starts on Wednesday. A week tomorrow, guys, is our first pre-season match. That's mad, isn't it? Football is back, guys. Next Wednesday, we'll be doing a live watch-along. Manchester United are playing Leeds next Wednesday. And as it stands, Tom Heaton will probably be the goalkeeper going on tour. And maybe Dean Henderson. I mean, we really need to sort out this Onana situation. Like, now. We really do, guys. Like, it's essential. We need Onana in before that pre-season tour starts, because I do not want to see Tom Heaton in pre-season. That is just a waste. That is such a waste. Someone said, why do you say guys so much? I'm not really sure, to be honest with you. It just kind of flows naturally. Like, it's quite weird. Robert says Mawani is valued at 80 million euros, so he is out of the running. Well, in relation to Mawani, guys, Rasmus Hojlund, Fabrizio Romano reported yesterday that Atalanta wants 60 to 70 million euros for Rasmus Hojlund. Okay? Kolo Muani's going to cost around the same amount of money. Honestly, guys, I said guys that I don't know why. What would you rather I address you as? What else could I call you? People? Anyway, I'm just going to keep using guys. If you want me to, this is a good one to put in the live chat. Do you have another word I can use instead of guys? I can't think of anyone. But anyway, let's continue. I got sidetracked there. I honestly think that Rasmus Hojlund and Kolo Muani are going to cost about the same amount of money. I do. Fabrizio Romano said they want 60 to 70 million for Rasmus. And Kolo Muani is probably around the same amount of money. And I do think that if it's a choice between the two, I think that Rasmus Hojlund has a higher ceiling. But I do believe that Kolo Muani at this moment in time is a better player. Let's have a read of a few comments. Someone saying, guys is fine, just wanted to interact, bud. Yeah, I'll try and, I mean, yeah, people use chat. I don't really like chat. Jimmy, what if I all just call you Billy? What if I just call you all Billy? So I say, all right, Billy. No, I don't like that. I'm not going to do that. Someone said, why do you answer these psychos? At the end of the day, guys, it's all banter. I don't take myself too seriously. I can take a joke. So, yeah. Harris says, how tall are you? All right, this is getting personal again. We did the personal stuff earlier. I'm 5'10". So I'm not the tallest, but I'm not the shortest. I'm a reasonable height. I'm not one of those people, by the way, who's actually 5'10", but says they're 6 foot. You know those people? There's always one in your friendship group, isn't there? Say you're 6 foot, and you've always got that person in your friendship group who's like, oh, yeah, I'm 6 foot. And when you stand next to them, you're like, you're thinking, you're definitely not 6 foot. You're smaller than me. I'm not one of those people, don't worry. I'm 5'10". And yeah, that's it. Anybody joining late, we will recap everything at the end of the show. So do stick around. And please do smash a like on the video, guys. It doesn't cost any money. Let's see how many we can get to by the end of the stream. Right, let's move on to the next story. Do keep getting your comments in about whether you'd prefer Rasmus Hojlund or or Kolo Muani. We have had a story come out from the UK press today saying that Manchester United are in talks with both Rasmus Hojlund and Kolo Muani. So it will be interesting to see which one we go for. It really, really will. Yeah, well, if they're the same amount of money, I would probably go for Kolo Muani. I would, but you know, if we can get Rasmus for 40 million plus add-ons, I'd go and do that 100%. It's just whether we can do that. It really, really is. Anybody who cares about Mason Mount, which I'm sure some of you guys do, he's passed his medical. He will be at Carrington on Thursday with the rest of his new teammates to start pre-season training. So Mason Mount has passed his medical. He's officially a Manchester United player. We will get the pictures probably in the next few hours of Mason Mount holding the shirt. And he will be in pre-season tour. So CK still in the chat. CK was obviously who was meant to be on the fan forum. We will get him on later. So CK says, spend the money on Lavia and get a budget striker. What does everybody think about that? I would love to get Lavia at Manchester United. I really, really would. But the reports are that Southampton will want around £50 million for Lavia, which I think is maybe too much for us at the moment. And I do think someone like Amrabat for maybe 10 to 20 million, which is reportedly what he would be sold for, I think that's maybe more realistic. Honestly, guys, I would love to get Lavia at Manchester United, but you've got to remember that Chelsea are interested in him. I think Arsenal are still interested in him. Manchester United are interested in him, though. Reported 2 hours ago, Manchester United are one of several Premier League clubs interested in Lavia from Southampton. I mean, when you're coming up against Arsenal, you're coming up against Chelsea, that's not a good position to be in. That's going to end up being a bidding war, whereas I do think we could get Amrabat for relatively cheap. He could come in. He's obviously played under Ten Hag before. He knows exactly what is expected. So, yeah, I do think that Lavia is a good player, but I just think in this current market, getting him in might just end up being too much. I know we said we weren't going to talk about Billy Marsh again, guys, but Billy Marsh has just said Mason Mount is better than McAllister. I'm starting to wonder whether this Billy Marsh guy is actually a Liverpool fan. So he's just said that he thinks Mason Mount is better than McAllister. I mean, hats off to you, like you're an honest fan. In relation to Lavia, guys, we have been linked to him. Southampton are reported to want around £50 million for him. Chelsea are also interested. Arsenal are also interested. Obviously, Lavia is young. He could go on to be an absolute monster in the future. He is only 19 years of age. 19. And he already is a really good player. So when you compare that with Amrabat, who I believe is 26. Yeah, Amrabat's 26. Lavia is someone you could have for the next 10 years. He is. You're buying... I mean, I tell you what. If we got Lavia and Rasmus Hojlund, that is an incredible bit of business. Do you know why? They're both like 19. You're bringing in two really young players who Ten Hag can work with. He can develop. And they'll be with us for the next 10, 15 years if they do well. So I do see why people are saying Lavia in the chat. Like, I would really, really like him. But at the moment, I am just concerned whether Manchester United have the budget to do it. I think maybe it'll be a little bit of a stretch this window. But at the end of the day, guys, if we get rid of Fred, if we get rid of Donny, then anything can happen. Right, let's read out a few more chats quickly. SPK says, I hope Hojlund does not end up like Martial, a promising young player only to lose their potential. Yeah, I'm going to be completely honest with you. When Anthony Martial joined Manchester United, he was honestly my favourite player for so long. Billy, do you remember when Anthony Martial sent, I can't remember his name, the Liverpool centre-back, the bold guy. Do you remember that first game at the Manchester United at Old Trafford? And Manchester United, Martial absolutely skinned him and scored, and then I don't think we ever saw him again. What was his name? The bold guy who used to play for Liverpool at a centre-back. I remember Anthony Martial's first game though, right? And he comes on the pitch, and he absolutely skins that Liverpool defender, the centre-back. He doesn't play at Liverpool anymore, and he scored that goal. And honestly, ever since then, he was my favourite player for like 2 seasons. I literally love the guy. I did. But, I don't know. I don't really know what happened to Martial, to be completely honest with you. I think he did have some issues off the field, didn't he? I think some stuff did go on in his personal... Yeah, Martin's Matip. No, it wasn't Matip. I can't remember what it was. It was Martin something. Martin Skirtle. Yeah, Skirtle, that was it. Skirtle. Remember, guys? Anthony Martial comes on the pitch. He absolutely destroys Skirtle. Skirtle's on the floor, and he absolutely bangs it in the net. And I don't think we ever saw Skirtle again. We didn't, did we? I think where's Skirtle now? He's probably retired, to be fair. I hope he's enjoying his retirement wherever he is. Actually, just to throw something in here, I know we're not a Liverpool channel, but just whilst we're slagging off Liverpool, has anybody seen that Steven Gerrard's gone to Saudi Arabia? I mean, what has happened there? He got sacked, didn't he, in the Premier League, and now he's gone off to Saudi Arabia. I mean, that's pretty embarrassing. He's at the beginning of his managerial career, and he's having to go and manage in the Saudi league. I mean, that is not great, is it? I don't know if anyone saw that, but yeah, he's gone to, I don't know what the club's called, but Steven Gerrard is now officially a manager in the Saudi Arabian league. I mean, fair play to him. He's probably making more money than in a month than I'll make in my whole life. But, still, it's a bit of a, to go from Premier League to the Saudi league at his age, pretty embarrassing, isn't it? Right. All right, we've got about 20 minutes left of the show, guys. Please do smash a like on the video if you haven't already, and please do get involved in the poll. So far in the poll, the question was, how many goals will Rasmus Hojlund get in the Premier League? 42% of you say 10, 48% say 20, and 11 say 30. So it's pretty equal between 10 and 20. So I think it's safe to say he'll probably get somewhere between 10 and 20, I reckon, realistically, which I think is probably what would happen. Let's talk about the takeover quickly. We did do a whole video on the takeover like an hour ago, so if you want to watch that one, it's more in depth, then obviously go and do that. It went up about an hour ago, so go and check that one out afterwards if you are interested. But for now, let's do a quick recap of where we are. Let's do a bit of a summary. Obviously, the video does say Manchester United takeover discussion, because we did think we'd have a guest on today and we were going to talk about it at length, but I will give a bit of an overview of where we are. So up until this point, what was being reported is that, obviously the 6 Glazer siblings that need to sign off on the contract. Joel and Avram were the only 2 that wanted to stay. The rest of them were happy to sell the club. All the shareholders were happy to sell the club. So it was just Joel and Avram who were being greedy. The 2 greedy boys. We had a story coming out. It was about 3 o'clock UK time, roughly, right? It came out via Manchester Evening News, but it was actually something they forwarded from a newspaper in Qatar called Al Raya. I did a bit of research into it. So Al Raya is apparently the 3rd largest newspaper in Qatar. I believe it was founded in, I'm just having a quick look. I think it was founded in 1969. Yeah, 1979. So it's been going since 1979. It's an Arabic daily newspaper published in Qatar. It's one of the 3 major newspapers along with blah, blah, blah. Okay, anyway. So they put out a story earlier on today saying that the Glazers were hours away from signing a contract to hand over ownership to Sheikh Jassim. That was what was being reported. Obviously, that then circulated on Manchester Evening News, The Mirror, a few other UK newspapers and platforms picked up on this story and put it out. Obviously, we did a video about it, guys. There was a bit of a mixed reaction. Some people were saying, no, it's not going to happen. Other people were saying, oh my God, we're there. And I then gave my opinion, which I know some people want, some people don't want. But I do think it's important. When you're bringing news to the table, I think it's important to discuss it. And I think it's important to, be realistic about things and to not spread too much excitement when it's not 100%. So anyway, that's where we are with the takeover. We had this story coming out from Al Raya, one of the 3 major publications in Qatar, saying that they were hours away from signing over to Sheikh Jassim. We then did a bit more research and we did a bit of a Google search together, which I encouraged everyone else to do themselves and to not just take my word for it. And I'd heard from a friend that apparently spreading fake news in Qatar in newspapers is illegal. And I thought that sounds a bit dramatic, but let's go and have a look. So I did a Google search and it says that apparently if you spread fake news in Qatar, there is a 5-year or up to 5-year prison sentence. So what the conclusion we came to, guys, or the conclusion I came to, was that this story that had come out from this Qatar newspaper had clearly been briefed by somebody close to Sheikh Jassim, okay? But that doesn't mean it's going to happen. It doesn't. Until we get it from a Bloomberg, a Fabrizio Romano. To be honest with you guys, I'm more interested in the financial places now. I think the financial places are the ones we need to keep an eye on. when you see a Bloomberg or you see a Reuters or you see someone of that level putting out a story about Manchester United, that's when you need to get excited, because as I've said to you many, many times before, those platforms do not put out stories about football, usually. They put out stories about business. That's ultimately what happens, okay? So until we get a here we go from Fabrizio, until we get a BBC, BBC in the UK, something like that saying a deal's been agreed, we've got to take everything with a pinch of salt. But I think at least on the surface, I think it is positive that there is still stuff coming out. And at the end of the day, this paper in Qatar looks legit, okay? It does look legit. But as I said on my previous stream, I've never heard of it. I don't live in Qatar. I never have. I can't read Arabic. I only really know like UK and European press, okay? And I can tell you like the Daily Mail is trash, whereas the Independent, the Telegraph, the BBC, like they're a bit more credible. So I have no idea how credible this source is. So that's what I wanted to say to begin with. I just want to say as well, guys, everyone please try and go to sleep tonight. I've seen someone in the chat saying they're not going to go to sleep because they don't want to miss the takeover happening. Like, I know everyone is so emotionally invested in this. I really do. I feel your pain, but please try and, go to sleep. Try and have a bit of an evening, like try and spend some time with your family, do something nice. Like, all right, someone in the chat's asking what Mason Mount's weekly wage is. So let's circle back to that and then we'll come back to the takeover in a minute. So Mason Mount, that's another good point. Mason Mount will be announced, I reckon, either today or tomorrow morning. He's passed his medical, that's been confirmed. He will be paid £250,000 a week on a 5-year contract with the option of an extra year. I think that's too much money, but at the end of the day, I don't work for Manchester United, okay? I'm just somebody who makes videos for fun. I think that's too much money per week. He was on 80 at Chelsea. He's now on 250. It's too much, but it is what it is. Somebody in the chat above actually has just put up a really good point. So Ahmed says, in that case, according to Bloom, Sheikh Jassim is done deal already, technically. Well, yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, guys, Reuters, Bloomberg, all of these financial institutions have already put out stories about Sheikh Jassim. They have, saying that he's going to win the club. Those stories have been circulating for the last 3 or 4 weeks. Have you seen a single story about Sir Jim Ratcliffe winning the club? I haven't. Not one. I haven't seen any, guys. If anybody in the chat has seen a story about Sir Jim Ratcliffe winning the bid in the last 4 weeks, let me know in the chat, because I haven't heard one. As I've said to you for the last 3 or 4 weeks, honestly, my take on it is 75% now that Sheikh Jassim will get the club. The other 25%, I think, is the Glazers. So yeah, thanks for raising that earlier on. Let's read out a few more questions quickly. Is Billy Marsh still here? Billy Marsh is still here. Hats off to him, guys. Like, utmost respect for, honestly, I take that as a compliment. So yeah, thank you, Billy Marsh. Really good to have you into the team. Somebody in the chat saying, do you not want to talk about, sorry, someone asking about Mason Greenwood. We've already spoken about Mason Greenwood. We speak about Mason Greenwood every single stream, guys, so I don't want to talk about him again. Mason Greenwood will go out on loan, I think. He's not going to play for Manchester United next season. Whatever we think, it doesn't matter. I don't think it will happen. The commercial side of it, the commercial sponsors will not be happy with Mason Greenwood being at the club. Like, I can promise you that. They won't. How does it look on the women's team if you bring back Mason Greenwood? It doesn't look good. It doesn't. So yeah, I know a lot of you in the chat like Mason Greenwood, and he is a good footballer, but I can't see him playing for Manchester United again. So let's try and not talk about Mason Greenwood. Obviously, if you want to, then that's fine. But yeah, obviously, as I've said on all my other videos, guys, if we do get any more news on anything around Manchester United, if it's a confirmation of anything, we will obviously go live. I am hoping that we do get this story tonight. I'm just having a look at what time it is in America. Let's have a look. Yeah, so it's about 2 o'clock in America at the moment. So I do think we could still get some more updates in the next few hours. I know it's like 7 o'clock in the UK here, but it's only the early afternoon in America. And obviously the Glazers are in America. Let's read out a few more comments. All right, this is a great question. So someone in the chat says, why are we so bad at selling players? City reserve keeper is going to Burnley for £15 million. Yeah, I mean, that's crazy. I don't know if any of you saw that, but I think it's the City youth goalkeeper, who I've never heard of, is on the brink of moving to Burnley for £15 million, right? Yet we're struggling to sell Dean Henderson, who's played for England, he's played for Manchester United, he's a proven Premier League goalkeeper. We're struggling to sell Dean Henderson for 15, 20 million. I mean, who is running this club? It makes no sense at all. It doesn't. Like, how are Manchester City able to sell their backup goalkeeper, who I've never heard of? I mean, he's like their third or fourth choice goalkeeper for 15 million. Yet we can't even sell Dean Henderson for 15 million. I mean, it makes no sense whatsoever. Let's have a read of a few more chats. Someone says the commercial side can sod off. I mean, at the end of the day, Manchester United are successful because of us fans. And then the commercial, you know, the Nikes, the Adidases, they come in and give us loads of money because they want to tap into our fan base. That's how it works. So at the end of the day, the commercial side of things is more important than what we think in regards to Manchester United, you know? Whether we want Mason Greenwood to come back or not, it doesn't matter. It doesn't. Like, we have no say, unfortunately. Right. Let's have a look. Welcome, Ali, mate. Hope you're doing well, Ali. Let's have a read of a few more comments. Sean says, do you think Ten Hag will change the captaincy before the start of the season? That's a great question. I think the captain will be Bruno next season. I do. I think the backup captain will probably be Casemiro. If I was to choose somebody else who's probably not in the limelight, I'd go with Martinez. I would. People asking about Henderson. Yeah, so Henderson does look like he's going to move to Nottingham Forest. But what my point is that we're going to get the same amount of money for Henderson as what Manchester City are getting for their fourth choice goalkeeper, who none of us have ever heard of, who is a youth player. Like, how does that make sense? We're going to sell a proven English goalkeeper who's played in the Premier League, who's played at international level, for the same amount of money. Manchester City are going to sell their fourth choice goalkeeper. Yeah, I mean, the reported fee for Henderson is around 15 to 20 million pounds. I mean, how does that make sense? I'm happy. I'm happy for him to go. I don't want him at Manchester United, but I don't get why we're getting such a small amount of money for somebody when Manchester City are able to sell people we've never heard of for 15, 20 million. It doesn't make any sense to me. It really doesn't. And I'm struggling to understand. But, you know, that's just how it is, unfortunately. When you support Manchester United, you're constantly scratching your head thinking, why are they doing that deal? Why are we selling players for so cheap? It doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't. Right, let's have a look at what else we're talking about. We are currently just waiting for the Mason Mount deal to go live. Obviously, we will. I know no one really seems to care about Mason Mount anymore, but we will, of course, do an official video once Mason Mount goes officially signs, and we'll do a bit of a breakdown, and we'll have a discussion about that if anybody's interested in that type of thing. Obviously, guys, I did like an hour-long one, literally. And then 10 minutes later, we were supposed to do the fan forum, but it didn't work. And then I came back on. So I've pretty much been streaming for like 2 hours, guys. So I hope you appreciate the commitment today. Obviously, I do love speaking to you guys, so it doesn't feel like work. I do enjoy it. So yeah, big ups to everybody who's in the chat. Do smash a like on the video if you haven't already. And do subscribe. It doesn't cost any money, and it really helps the channel. Yeah, so as it stands, guys, the stories we've spoken about today, I'm going to start wrapping up the show. Let's have a look at the poll quickly. Yeah, it's still pretty level on the poll, guys. It's about equal on 10 goals for Rasmus Hojlund or 20. I agree with that. I do. I think he'll get either 10 or 20 goals next season. I do. Yeah. Big ups to everyone being really supportive. Someone saying love your content. Thank you very much. Again, big ups to everybody who's supporting the channel. I really do appreciate you all, and I am glad that you enjoy the content, because at the end of the day, I'm just like you. I'm just a person who loves Manchester United, and I like talking about football. And yeah, I really am happy that people enjoy the conversation. So yeah, big ups. Yeah, so this is a great comment, actually. So Fred says, I think this will all be sorted when the Sheikhs clear out the backroom staff as promised. 100%. 100%. The reason that we get absolutely mugged off is because we've got idiots running the club. That's the black and white of it. We've got John Murtagh and Richard Arnold, who are idiots. Let's be honest. They're not good at doing their jobs. They're really not. Honestly, that's one of the most exciting things that I'm looking forward to, is seeing John Murtagh leave, seeing Richard Arnold leave, seeing all these people who shouldn't have their job still leave the club. Like, that really needs to happen. And as I said to you guys before, I don't want to keep doing videos about, oh, Qatar have nearly signed the contract, Qatar this. Like, I can't wait to be doing videos saying Qatar are getting rid of John Murtagh, or these are the players Qatar are going to sign, or positive things, you know? That's what I'm really excited about. I can't wait for that deal to get over the line, and we can just be doing videos about what the future looks like under Qatar, what the new ownership's going to bring, what's going to happen with the stadium, like all of these amazing topics that are there to be discussed about. I can't wait to share those moments with you guys. I really can't. I'm just seeing if there's anything else on our agenda for this show. Yeah, as it stands, guys, we've kind of gone through everything that I wanted to discuss. So I'm going to wrap up the show here. I'm going to start doing a little recap. So do subscribe if you haven't already. Also, we do have the membership now available. You do get a little badge next to your name. I've just put a link for it in the chat, or you can click the $sign. Everybody's welcome in this community, whether you're a member or not. All right, let's read out a few more comments quickly before we wrap up. Someone says, do you think we would be run like PSG if Qatar buys us? I don't know, to be honest. I almost think in some ways it's positive that the PSG project hasn't worked, because, like, the PSG project hasn't worked. Let's be honest, guys. They brought in superstars. They brought in Neymar. They brought in Messi. It didn't work. So I do almost think that because the PSG, project didn't work, it maybe is a positive for us, because they can look at that and say, let's not make the same mistakes before. Let's not bring in Neymar. Let's not bring in people like Messi. Let's bring in young people. Let's bring in the right people in the right places, like Brighton. Think about Brighton. They were a championship club. They've come to the Premier League, and let's be honest. I'm gonna say something real here. Whether you like it or not, that's up to you. Brighton played better football than Manchester United last season. They did. And if it wasn't for bad VAR decisions, Brighton would have got top 4. Brighton played incredible football last season. Okay, so I do think that. I don't think that with the PSG, people asking, do you think PSG will be like Manchester United? I don't think it will. I don't. I think we'll bring in like high profile names, but I think they'll be the right people. It won't just be people to sign shirts. At the end of the day, when you actually think about the Glazers project, like, it's kind of similar in some ways. Like, the Glazers brought in players who sold shirts and improved their commercial value. They increased their likes on Instagram. They got them more brand deals. So when you actually think about it, is the PSG project and the model of it that different to the Glazers at Manchester United? Apart from the fact that the PSG project, they've thrown money at it. The Glazers have ultimately used our money to bring in players that are going to sell them shirts and get them, new brand deals. So I don't actually think that how PSG and how Manchester United have been run under the Glazers is that different when you actually think about it. They've both been run badly. They've both been bad deals. They've not put the football first. They've bought players who are going to sell shirts. They've bought players who are going to increase their brand value. So I do think that under Qatar, I don't think it will be like, let's sign Neymar. Let's sign Mbappe. Let's sign Osimhen. Like, I think we'll get some, high-profile players. But I do think that it will very much be about, let's create the best environment for Ten Hag to succeed. That's what I think will be the priority. It will be, how can we make Erik Ten Hag succeed? Not how can we get more likes? Because at the end of the day, guys, Manchester United is already an incredible brand, yeah, worldwide, an incredible football club with a beautiful history and a beautiful fan base. Whereas before Qatar bought PSG, PSG was nothing. So at the end of the day, they've brought in people like Messi because they want to get followers. Nobody cared about PSG before, whereas everybody cares about us already. It's a different project. Yeah, so I don't think we'll be run like PSG. I don't. Welcome to all the new subscribers today. We've had so many new people join the channel today. I really do appreciate you all. If you haven't subscribed already, please do subscribe. Hit the notification bell. We do go live at 8 a.m. UK time and 6 p.m. UK time for a 1-hour show every single day. If anything breaks during the day, we will go live as well. So do put the notification bells on. Honestly, I love speaking to all of you guys. I'm going to start wrapping up the show here. If anything breaks between now and 8 a.m. tomorrow morning, we will, of course, go live. Anybody who wants to kind of recap on what's happened this stream, obviously just watch it back, start it from the beginning, and you will hear everything. And if you want to more focus on the takeover stuff, we did a video earlier on today that was talking about the latest news around the takeover. I'm going to go off now. I'm going to get some dinner. It's about 7 o'clock in the UK now. It's been amazing to speak to you all today. Again, welcome to all the new members. An amazing community we've got here. Honestly, guys, really, really great community. We've had a great laugh today. Obviously, we had the Liverpool fan. That was That was amazing. It really, really was. So again, massive shouts to everybody. I hope you have an amazing day or evening wherever you are in the world. Please do smash the like button on your way out. It doesn't cost any money. There's 350 plus of you in the chat. Smash a like on the video before you leave, and yeah, subscribe if you haven't already. Doesn't cost any money. It really helps the channel. Hopefully, guys, I'm praying in a few hours' time we'll be going live with more news on the takeover. But if not, we'll speak at 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. Please try and get some sleep tonight. Please try and relax a bit. I know it's hard. I know it's stressful, but we will speak soon. Lots of love to you all. Peace out, and I'll catch you guys later. Lots of love.